Hi guys, it's Sarah from the Rhodes 9314, and today I am excited to inform everyone I have been a part of RYBSAT for the past 2 days. It's day 2 of RYBSAT, even though I started like about 3 hours earlier than planned because they were having marathons because of people from other countries. It was the 19th in their country, so I started about 3 hours early. Not that bad, but at the same time, I kind of started early, and in the matter of a day and a half, I finished Fallen Kingdoms by Rhodes. So this is my first book I finished in my RYBSAT marathoning. The second one I am now reading is Throne of Glass, so I'm excited for that one. But this is a book review about Fallen Kingdoms, so it's generally going to be like my other reviews, except I'm gonna leave a little bit of information about RYBSAT in this video. RYBSAT, if you don't know what RYBSAT is, there's plenty of time to still get into it. It's only the second day and it goes on for a week. It's basically where you pick a point in your bookshelf and read on from there. We have a Twitter. They have a Twitter page for RYBSAT, and I'll link that down below if you guys want to participate in it. It's amazing. They have these sprints and these questions you could answer. I know because of those sprints that I got through Fallen Kingdoms within a day. I mean, I got through this, I read it all day yesterday. I was literally right there by the end of the day. And then I finished it this morning, and I've even finished a chapter of Throne of Glass today as well, but I'm a little busy today, mostly because I have a job interview tonight, so I'm just praying that I get this job, but at the same time, I'm still gonna try to participate in RYBSAT. I'll just be reading during the night time to get in the mood if I get this job. Yeah, because it is a job where I have to spend nights it's a graveyard shift, so I'm like, I love graveyard shifts. I've been practicing with some of my friends for them because I was gonna do a graveyard shift back in the old city I was in, but it didn't pan out, so hopefully this one will. Okay, so back to Fallen Kingdoms because I'm getting off track. Fallen Kingdoms is about you have 3 kingdoms in this, and they're on a brink of war, and we follow 4 different perspectives, which we call the core 4. There's Cleo, there's Magnus, there's Jonas, and then there's Lucia. And this isn't really a spoiler for the book, but I do prefer the girl's perspective over the guys because I mostly ended up hating the guys in this story, and if you stick for the spoiler section, I'll tell you why in there. But I don't want to spoil it for the non-spoilery people. So we have the core 4. Cleo is the princess of Aranos, I believe it's called. Please don't shoot me if I'm wrong, because these are kind of hard to pronounce, and unlike Sarah J. Maas's books, where they have a pronunciation of the kingdoms and everyone's name in the back of the book, this one doesn't have it. So if I butcher any names, I apologize ahead of time. This is how I envision their name in my head, and I have a pronunciation thing, so Aranos, I think, was the name. So we do Cleo from Aranos, and she's the princess of Aranos. And then we have Jonas, and he's a rebel from Palasia. And then we have Magnus, who is the prince of Limeros, I don't know why I want to call it Limeros, but Limeros, I believe it is. It's called, and then we have his sister Lucia, and that's the core 4. And with the core 4, I really hoped that I would have liked all 4, but I ended up only liking 2 out of the 4 core 4, because the boys, I think, were a little bit whiny to me. Not whiny, but a little bit like, come on, this is kind of pathetic, and I'll explain why in my spoiler section. I mean, Jonas had reasons, but let's just say I'm not a huge fan of Magnus. I know a lot of people are. He's one of the characters that you either love or you either hate, and for me, I really hate him. Hate him with a passion, which I'll explain in the spoiler section. But now on to the rating of this. I gave this an 8 out of 10 because one of my characters, like not even one, two of my characters that I actually really liked died in this book. So I'm like, okay, why make us fall in love with them only to kill them? So, and then even another one who died in here I felt a little sad about, but there was two that died in there that I'm like, okay, well, this just marked down the rating a lot, and the spoiler section will go over that. So for anyone who hasn't read Fallen Kingdoms and is a fan of Game of Thrones, I suggest this because it does have that Game of Thrones feeling to it, so I would suggest reading this. Also for the people who want to participate in RYBSAT, it's going on until the 25th of January, so I'll leave the link down for that below, as well as my other social medias and my Goodreads group. Well, not mine, but I'm part of Top 5 Wednesday, and I haven't been doing Top 5 Wednesday because it's been hectic around here trying to find a job and RYBSAT and whatnot, so yay for that. Okay, so bye non-spoilerly people. I'm gonna spoil the shit out of this book, so I will see you guys after you read this book and come back. Okay, bye non-spoilerly people. Okay, so if you haven't clicked off yet, I would think that you either have read this book or you have no care for being spoiled through this book. So I'm gonna go through what Morgan graciously gave us, which is the list of characters, starting from the people of Aranos to the Watchers. Although I don't think I've only saw one of the Watchers in this one, so we'll see. So we'll start with Cleo. And for me, Cleo is my favorite character in this book. I'm just adored Cleo. I like how her character development was up to here. She's the one who most developed in this book, to quietly holding her tongue to being this really badass person, in my opinion. So I could gush about Cleo, and as far as I know, there is a ship between Cleo and Magnus, but I just can't get over the fact that he killed Theon. It's just not in my nature to forgive someone like that. So I'm not gonna forgive Magnus. I'm not gonna forget that he killed Theon. And I've not read ahead for a spoiler, but I was spoiled a little bit that Theon's brother is vengeful towards Magnus. So I really hope for that. I'm sorry, but maybe I'll like Magnus better if I read the rest of the series. But as for now, I just think he's a little bit of a whiner. He has reasons, but he's really a whiner, especially since he grew ice cold when his sister was like, dude, I don't see you that way, I only see you as your brother. So, she's your sister, though. Even if she's not your biological sister, she still thinks of you as a brother, and it's still gross, so just know. So, and then we'll get to, but as far as Cleo, I loved her storyline. I loved how she would do anything for her sister Amelia. I love how I love her and Jonas's scene wherever he's capturing her, and she literally just fights back and runs off. she's like, no, I'm not gonna go with you. And, you know, she's this chick where she could be defenseless, but she's not. So go Cleo. Just love Cleo. Amelia, which is Cleo's sister, I felt sorry that she died. But as far as character development, she seemed really sweet. The story about how she loved a guard and then he died, it was similar. It was brief foreshadowing. One moment, my alarm's going off. You get to see my messy room. Okay, so there we go. That shut that up. But as far as it's gonna be a little off now. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to fix this. As far as character development go, there wasn't really much for Amelia, but I still found her a nice little side character. Sad that she died. Now this one, the next character on this one, oh my god, it just sucked really bad. Theon, I really loved Theon. I really wanted to see how his relationship with Cleo would have developed if they hadn't killed him off. Which is another reason why I hate Magnus. We will get to the reasons why I don't ship Magnus with anyone, and I don't like Magnus whenever we hit the Magnus part of this, which won't be for a while because he's in the Lime Roast section. But, yeah. When Theon was protecting Cleo, I was like, yay, Theon, and he really did care about Cleo, and I would love to see their relationship develop into something more, because I know a bunch of people are going like, yay, Cleo and Magnus together, and I'm over here like, why? Why would you want Cleo with someone who is so heartless, who Lucius says, I don't believe you're heartless, I just think you're steered in the wrong direction. And yeah, I guess he could be that way, but at the same time, I still kind of hate him for what he did to Theon. And for me, the only character who's really got me to change my mind about them after they'd done something so horrific to someone's family member or boyfriend was Damon Salvatore, and Magnus is not a Damon Salvatore in my opinion, so yeah. So Simon, which is Theon's father, we only heard about him, so I can't really say much. Oh god, there is Aaron, and Aaron, oh my god, talk about the weakest male character you could think of. He's drunk, he provided not any humor, but he provided a character for which you would feel sorry for Cleo because she was betrothed to him, and he's the one who started all this. And while I don't hate him as much as I hate Magnus, which is really sad because, you know, when it comes to main characters, I really hate to hate a main character, but Magnus pretty much put me in a position where I didn't like him for a lot of reasons. But Aaron is pretty much second up there. And then we have Corvin, which is the king of Oranos. And I loved King Corvin. I think he was the best king out of all the kings, and I felt sad when he died in Cleo's arms. Can I just say how much it sucked to be Cleo in this book? I mean, she lost her sister. Well, first she lost Theon, then she lost her sister, and then she lost her father, and her mother was already dead. So I'm just over here like, poor Cleo. She was pretty much familyless as soon as this book was over, and that for traumatic events makes characters stronger. So I hope that Cleo becomes more of a strong badass because of this experience, but I still hate that Corvin died. Elena, she was already deceased, so I can't say much about her. Nick, who is Cleo's best friend, I found him quite humorous. He kind of reminds me of Mason from the Vampire Academy series, if anyone has read that or seen the movie. I know a lot of people who've seen the movie, the guy who plays Mason on that movie, they want as Nick also, and I can definitely see it because Mason and Nick kind of ring the same bell for me. I mean, it's pretty cool. cool. Like, he's like a Mason. Hopefully he doesn't die, because that would suck if Nick died. Okay, and then there's Mira, who is Nick's sister. I didn't remember Mira so much, so I can't really do the character development thing. So that's all I'm doing in Aranos. Pelagia, there is Jonas, who is the youngest son to the wine cellar, and my gut. Like, I get that Thomas got killed in the very beginning, but I really wished his anger was more towards Aaron instead of Cleo, because it didn't really seem fair to me that he was like, yeah, I would hate someone who just sat there and watched too, but he was saying things like she enjoyed watching his brother die, and was just sitting there and saying, no, she didn't. She didn't approve of what Aaron had done, and she had nightmares, but Jonas had no way of knowing that, so it was a tiny bit annoying. I got him. I totally got why he would do that, why he would hate her, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know. And then we got Thomas, who annoyed me, but it was kind of like his death sparked a revelation, so yeah. Silas was okay. Felicia, my god. For whatever reason, I wanted Magnus to punch her and knock her out. Well, not Magnus, but not Magnus. I wanted Theon to at least, gag her because, yeah, I get it, your husband died. But I don't know why people treat Cleo like she was the spawn of the earth. I get it, somewhat, but at the same time, I'm just all like, wasn't really her fault. If you really want to blame someone, blame the person who killed him. And then there's Paulo. I didn't see Paulo, but he was her new husband. Oh wait, no, that was actually her husband. But Thomas was her brother. Okay, sorry. I forget. Brian was okay. We didn't see much of him. Irene, I liked how she helped Cleo. Sarah, I wish she would have kept her mouth shut about Cleo being there. Hugo. Oh, that was the leader. Chief. I always saw him as a chief, but I'm just like, I really hate how he put his trust in the King of Limeros. I wouldn't have, but whatever. His daughter, we didn't see much of her, so, yeah. And then we got Limeros. Okay, first there's Magnus. We can finally get to why I don't like Magnus in this, and god, this is gonna be a very long video. But, Magnus, I didn't like how he had an obsession with his sister even before he knew that she was his sister. He kind of reminded me of the jackass overprotective brother. He kind of reminds me of, Daenerys' brother on Game of Thrones. That's probably why I didn't like him that much. He was just kind of creepy to me. He killed Theon, which is a big no to me. He seemed rather, I don't know, it really bothered me, a lot of what he did. I mean, maybe there might be a small smidge of salvation left in there for his character in the second book, but for now, just no, I don't like Magnus. I won't ship Magnus and Cleo. I would soon rather ship Cleo and Jonas together than Cleo and Magnus. And that's saying something, because I liked how Jonas, at the end of it, was all like, okay, we're gonna work together. But, whatever. Lucia is actually a pretty fave character. I mean, sure, she helped her father take over Aranos, and I'm over here, like, I really hate the king because he just uses children as weapons, and that's not cool. But, talking about Lucia, I liked how she's pretty much a badass. There was this one scene where she was killing Sabina, and she totally like smacks her against the wall and then sets her on fire, and I'm like, okay. And I remember reading that and putting on my RYBSAT group going, Cleo's my favorite, but Lucia's a badass all the way. And she pretty is. I like how she was innocent, and then she turned into this really big badass. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, the female protagonists in this book are really badass, while the males in this story are kind of weak, from my perspective. I mean, come on. And then we have Gaseous, who's the king, and oh my god. I cannot say how much I hate this guy. This guy, he uses his children as for his own personal agenda, and I really hated that a lot, especially since his daughter was basically just a weapon to him. So yeah, Athena, I hate how she just stood around and let Gaseous do whatever the fuck he wanted. Sabina, the only part I liked about her was the part where Lucia burned her, and that was it. Didn't have to hear from her. Janet, who found Lucia in the first place. We didn't get to see a lot of character development, so I can't say. Michael, who is one of the suitors for Lucia. I like how he told Lucia what her brother was up to. And can we talk about the fact that Magnus was a big douche nozzle for telling his sister, you're not my sister. Sabina kidnapped you and brought you over here, so we're not related by blood. That's why I could kiss you right now. And it doesn't have to be weird or awkward for you at all. Who tells people that they're not blood relatives that way? I mean, that's another reason why I hate Magnus. Because he pretty much told Lucia that out of his own personal agenda. And that's just really fucked up to me. Tobias, I hate how his throat got slit, but besides that, Andreas, well, he's dead. Didn't really see much point to him. Amiya, the only part where I felt like Magnus was actually human in this story is whenever he let Amiya go and gave her money to get out of there. So I liked that. And then Alexius, who is the Watcher in this one, didn't really get to see much character development for him. But as well as character development, this one is really well drawn out. And basically, since I went over all the characters, I went all over things I love and hate about this book. So I'll go over a series of questions now, starting with who is your favorite character. I have to say Cleo is my favorite character without a doubt. Theon came pretty close and then he died, so I'm like, Lucia also is like this, and then she helped take off over Eranos because her dad was using her for her magic. So, and least favorite character, Magnus. Definitely Magnus. I don't think there's any room for improvement in Magnus's behavior. No, I know I'll get a lot of grief for saying I hate Magnus, but I really do. I find him annoying and a little bit whiny, just because he wants to get in his sister's pants, which, ew, really, this really is Game of Thrones over here. But, let's see. Also, I don't know if anyone has heard this song, but whenever I was, reading this, I was thinking about Dollhouse by Melanie Martinez, I believe her last name is, and I thought it was perfect for Lucia and Cleo's situation. So if you haven't heard that song, I'll link it down below. I kept it on repeat while I was reading this story, and I'm all like, the more the girls developed, the more I felt like this was the perfect song for them ever. And would this be a good movie? Yeah, I think it would be a good movie. I think I would love to see it as a movie. And if it was made in a movie and I was cast as one of the characters, I don't know, I think I'd be Amelia because I really don't want to be a Cleo. And I really don't want to be Lucia. But I'll definitely be Amelia or the maid, even though, she had pretty shitty luck also. But there you guys have it. That was my review for Fallen Kingdoms. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you liked about Fallen Kingdoms. I did like the war scene. It was sad. It was dramatic. I hate how Cassius now has the throne to Uranus and pretty much control over all 3 kingdoms now. So that sucks. But what do you think? Leave a comment down below, let me know. And if you want to get on RYBSAT, I'll leave a comment that down below and let you know. So I will see you guys later. Bye!